Every now and then, we experience a rare and precious moment, a glimpse into what it might truly feel like to be happy. It could be a serene evening in the warmth of summer when the air feels soft and time seems to pause. Perhaps it's the relief and renewal that come after recovering from an illness, a fresh sense of life's fragility and value. Maybe we've just finished reading a book or listening to a piece of music that resonated deeply within us, leaving us stirred in ways we can't fully explain. Inspired, we might take a quiet walk through a bustling city or along a tranquil countryside path, lost in thought. And then out of nowhere, a profound and enigmatic idea takes hold. What if life didn't always have to feel this difficult? What if the sadness and anxiety that so often cloud our days weren't inevitable? What if we could learn to recognize and appreciate the quiet beauty and abundant potential of the world around us? Imagine noticing the intricate details of a tree, the way its leaves shimmer in the light, or seeing the unique stories etched into the faces of strangers passing by. What if we gave ourselves permission to connect more deeply with others, to shed the barriers of reserve, mistrust and fear that so often keep us apart? What if we let ourselves fully embrace the act of loving and, equally important, allowed ourselves to be loved in return? In those moments we might catch a glimpse of a joy far more profound than anything we normally permit ourselves to believe is possible, a joy that feels almost otherworldly in its vastness and promise. Of course, such thoughts are often met with resistance. The usual pragmatic counter-arguments come swiftly. Life, we remind ourselves, is not a daydream. We must stay grounded. We're not mystics or visionaries. We're ordinary people dealing with ordinary struggles. The demands of reality are relentless. We have jobs to hold on to, bills to pay, relationships to navigate. Our partners can be irritable, our friends unavailable. People are often unkind, and the world seems indifferent to our needs. There's the ever-present burden of maintaining a household, the long list of tasks that never seems to end. On a deeper level, many of us are haunted by the belief that life, at its core, is a journey marked by pain and struggle. We tell ourselves that humanity didn't endure millennia of hardship by focusing on fleeting joys or idealistic dreams. Instead, we've survived by bracing ourselves for the worst. This line of thinking seems sensible. It may even feel self-evident at times. There's a certain grim logic to it that's hard to argue against, especially on difficult days. But what if this reality we cling to is not as fixed or as bleak as we've been led to believe? What if the barriers to greater happiness aren't written into the fabric of life itself, but exist instead in our own minds? What if our inability to live more joyfully stems not from external constraints, but from the psychological patterns we've inherited and internalized? For many of us, the roots of this mindset trace back to childhood. We grew up in environments where joy was often seen as frivolous or fleeting, where laughter and delight were overshadowed by worry, anger, or sadness. Our natural youthful inclination to giggle, play, and dream was gradually dampened. Perhaps our parents, burdened by their own struggles, unintentionally taught us that life was something to endure rather than enjoy. We learned to keep our heads down, to prepare for emotional winters that seemed inevitable. Over time, we became skilled practitioners of a somber outlook, aligning ourselves with a philosophy of restraint and low expectations. We stopped imagining states of uninhibited ecstasy, stopped believing in the transformative power of love, stopped marveling at the sheer miracle of being alive on this planet. Without fully realizing it, we grew into adults who unconsciously remain loyal to the lessons of our early years. We carry with us the unspoken rules we absorbed as children, rules that told us to expect little and to guard ourselves against disappointment. But what if, here and now as adults, we no longer need to hold on to these old patterns? What if the fears and sadness we've carried for so long aren't as necessary as they once seemed? What if we allowed ourselves to imagine a different way of being, a life more open to joy, hope, and possibility? We might approach friendships with the belief that they can bring genuine satisfaction. We might choose partners who nurture our sense of connection rather than reinforcing our loneliness. We might interact with others in ways that create opportunities for trust and understanding to flourish. And perhaps over time we could begin to entertain one of the most radical and liberating thoughts of all. What if we are not here to suffer? What if the misery we've carried belongs to a past we had no control over, and what if we could choose something different for the future? What if we allowed ourselves to explore the unfamiliar but enticing terrain of joy? not as occasional visitors but as more frequent residents. It's true that such a transformation won't happen overnight. Change takes time, and the road to joy is rarely straightforward, but every small step, every gentle nudge in this direction, has the power to bring us closer to a richer, more fulfilling life.